Hey guys, it's Chavez Young with the Toronto Blue Jays, and you guys are listening to the Walk Off Podcast with Scott, Belford, and Adam.
So pleased to be joined by today's guest, outfielder for the Toronto Blue Jays organization, having himself a nice little season with the AA New Hampshire Fisher Cats, Chavez Young. Welcome to the Walk Off, man. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Nice to be here, man. Nice to be here. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We really should be saying welcome back. We had some internet problems. We loved talking to you last time, but of course, that was just for us. The listeners didn't get any of that goodness. So, my man, how are you feeling about your season? The pandemic wiped out 2020. It must be nice to just be kind of playing baseball again, a regular season in front of crowds.
Yeah, just this year made me realize, 2020 made me realize how blessed of an opportunity I have just to be playing the game I love, what I've been watching growing up and what I always wanted to be. It made me realize you gotta take these moments for granted. You can't take these moments for granted.
It's funny how the pandemic did that for so many of us. I mean, I would have much rather just read about it. I didn't need to learn firsthand a pandemic sucked, but, it did make you appreciate just regular life that you kind of took for granted, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So you were at big league spring training, which last time we talked, you said that you knew all the guys. Obviously, you'd played with a bunch of them throughout the system. It was kind of like a little bit of a reunion for you. But then this year, your new season with the Fisher Cats start in May. So, how difficult was it watching the big league start a month early and then need to wait a full month for you to get going in a regular season position type of thing?
I was kind of eager, kind of eager to play. I wanted her to get out there, watching the Blue Jays when they played the Yankees the first couple of games and they had some good success. I was like, I want to get out there, man. That looks fun. I want to get out there, get out there. And
you were feeling antsy, eh?
Yeah, it was so I just was so eager just to get out there because, I miss playing in front of crowds and just want her to get out there.
18 stolen bases on the season for you and counting. You are putting your speed to good work. Stealing bases is an art form. That is one thing that I think sometimes the casual fan doesn't understand is what a big deal and how much work actually goes into becoming a good base stealer. How much work do you put into it? And when you're about to steal a base, what are you watching from the pitcher that kind of gives you the tip off as to when you want to go?
Just trying to be more consistent with the same stance as much. You always want to show the opposite opponent team you're always ready to go regardless in any situation. And if it's just one point in time where you just chilling, then everybody knows that you're not going. And then there's one point you get a little antsy on the base path and you're moving to around and you're giving them little tips that you're going to steal. But just trying to be more consistent, just trying to knowing when to run, always looking at the scoreboard and just picking the right times.
That's interesting. It's almost like a poker game. You're keeping your poker face, right? You always want to seem like you're doing the exact same thing so they never know and you're never tipping your hand.
Yes.
I never really viewed it like that. That's really interesting. In a game, do you find that you're more likely to run earlier on in a game, or does it really depend situation to situation?
Situations, you always got to look who's hitting behind you or who's in front of you. Then look at the pitch count, what's the count on the batter, and then sometimes if you're on second base and it's 2 outs, you don't want to be the last out at third. You always never want to be the last out on third. So you look at those stuff. If you're going to steal third, you got to be 200% sure that you're going to be safe. So all those stuff applies.
You kind of got to learn that the hard way, don't you?
Yeah.
One time and then you're like, come on.
Yeah.
So obviously, and I mean, all sports are like this, but baseball, we see it time and time again that the teams that go to championships are defensively sound teams. right? They don't make errors. How much time do you spend working on the defensive side of the game? And I know that you play all three outfield positions, and sometimes fans just think the outfield is the outfield, right? They're all the same position, but they're not. So how much work do you put into each position, and how difficult is it to be versatile as an outfielder?
Um, I it's just the mindset. A lot of people have different mindsets. Well, my mindset is that the outfield is easy,
Okay.
and you just got to catch a ball and throw it to the cutoff. Like you look at the infielders, they got to worry about. They got to worry about pickoffs. They got to worry about bunt defense. They got to hold on a runner. They got to make sure their rhythm, their first couple steps are on time, and that's a lot to worry about. And then you got to hit. So me, I try to simplify it as possible. Like
Don't
make it as
overthink
easy
it,
as.
eh?
Don't overthink it, man. Just catch the ball. Get behind. Just basically try to get behind every ball. Try to get behind every ball. Have a momentum going forward. Keep everything in front of you. Slow the game down. I have a good arm, so like I just want to, when I slow the game down, like I know like if I make a good throw, like nobody's gonna outrun a baseball. So yeah.
How different are the routes that you need to learn from, let's say, center field to right field? Is it a big difference, or once you kind of have the gist of it, it's all movable?
So both corners are the same, I think.
Okay.
When you're playing
Center's
it on,
different though, isn't it?
yeah, center's different because like my mindset is that if anything is hit to me, it's like it's true, right? If you hit the ball, the center field is maybe because you stayed inside the baseball and you're driving it up the middle, right? You teach the hitters like stay up the middle. So if you're staying up the middle, and if it's me personally, if I see a righty hit, so I know. And anything if it's hit to me, it's going to fade over to the right side of the field because he stayed inside the baseball, and it's vice versa. As a left-hand hitter, like if anything hits to me, I know it's going to fade more to the left side of left center. So, and then like you got the corner outfields, whereas like the pulley guys, like if it's a lefty hitting, and I'm in right field, I got to be aware of the hooks. If it's straight at me, it's going to be a hook. Same thing if I'm in left field. If it's a righty hitting at me, and if it's a straight line drive at me, I got to be aware if it's a hook. If it's anything in air, I know it's going to carry.
This must have become just muscle memory to you. Like, how much of this is instinctual? Like, obviously, you've learned all of this. And I just know that if you had a time machine, 2021 Chavez could go back and talk to 2016 Chavez and just fill him with all sorts of info. But how much of this just when a ball is hit at this point in your career, you just know what's happening and you just react?
You only can get better with this. Basically, baseball IQ. You only can get better with those stuff during situational games, and like you only can get better with those stuff as well in batting practice.
Right.
Batting, like you heard I said batting practice.
Yeah.
You don't know where it's gonna get hit to, and you're just trying to react. And that's the only way you get better with those stuff. All the individual defense is good, but at the same time, like that, I think that is more important when you're in batting practice, reacting. You don't know where the ball is going to get hit, and you just want to be ready to catch everything.
So, Chavez, the Fisher Cats, man, do they seem like a fun team. Like, how is that clubhouse dynamic? And is this team as tight as it seems from the outside looking in?
Yeah. We love playing with each other. Like we love being there with each other. It's them feelings like you just can't wait to go to the field because you get good guys who you're going to be around. The coaching staff, they let you be yourself, they let you be the best version of yourself. Everybody, like it's no pressure on nobody. Like everybody's having fun. Like it's a fun environment. Yeah, you could be yourself. You don't have to hide like be scared, or whatever, be shy. Nah, you be yourself.
I'm guessing, how do you like New Hampshire? Do you get recognized lots? Are people like, hey, there's Chavez, local celebrity?
No, not even.
No?
I don't even leave the my place. Don't even. I
Yeah.
go from the field and go straight to my room. Because we're dealing with COVID and
Yeah,
stuff
of
like that, and
course.
I'm just trying to just stay away from any of them situation. Avoid any of that. So I just go straight from my game to my room to the game to my room to the game,
Yeah.
and if I have time, like look at videos of me swinging and stuff like that. So
I can imagine that's why the team, I mean, teams just become close anyways, but you're under such different obstacles this season. And it's such a shared experience that no one else is dealing with but the team. Like, it must just be such an interesting, tight, and family like feel to the group.
yeah, like we played with some of these guys from 2019, 2018, 2017.
Yeah.
So it's like not, I think the most important thing is like not trying to get to know other people, get to meet other people, like it, try to build that chemistry. Like you have a chemistry that's already built from 2018, 2019, and you're just saying, let's continue it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the camaraderie that comes along with playing a baseball season with your team, uh, like we kind of touched on, right? It's almost like a family. And this year at the trade deadline, the Blue Jays traded a couple of your teammates, Austin Martin, Simeon Woods Richardson. And obviously to the fans, they view this with a little bit more disconnect, right? Chavez, like to the fans, it's the Blue Jays traded two prospects. But there's a human side to this too, right? That especially in the minor leagues tends to be lost. How difficult is it to lose teammates like Martin and Richardson in the midst of a season? And how does a team kind of deal with the void that leads?
Like, no, I'm talking about the baseball standpoint, man. Like, because off the field, man, those two guys are great human beings,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you love. Because that's you're going to spend most of your time with these guys, especially off the baseball field, and you realize how much of a great human being these guys is, and that's the tough part. Not just not getting to play baseball with them on the field,
Yeah.
but just being around them. Like they're great, awesome human beings. Austin Martin and Simeon Wood. So like at the end of the day, I wish them best in their careers. At the end, it's bigger than baseball.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. It must have been a bit of a shock, eh, when that first landed, when that first came up.
yeah.
Um, what is it like in the clubhouse in that scenario? I guess it's a lot of goodbyes and like take care of yourselves and shock and
So it's a lot of shock, and it's like kind of. I mean, like you're little paranoid, little scared,
right.
because you're
It could
like
happen to me. Yeah.
you could be playing, and then like a couple minutes later you could be in the manager office, like you're getting taken out the lineup. But at the same time, like it's a greater opportunity, um, for the person or for them. But at the same time, like as a teammate, you're like, you're little sad. You're little sad to see them go, because like I said, like they're great human beings off the field. You're like hanging out with them, and that's just the life you live. Minor leagues or in the MLB, you play, right, and then like you build a team chemistry, right,
Mm-hmm.
and then for them to go like that, it was a little tough, but at the same time, like we know it's a better opportunity for them and a better opportunity for our team as well.
So, speaking of opportunity, then, as a minor leaguer on the cusp of the MLB, making it to the show, obviously at the MLB level, everyone on the Blue Jays is focused on a World Series. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Right. How much is that something that's even in your mind, right? Like to go from the Blue Jays organization, where this is a playoff contender, very hopeful for a World Series, to potentially getting traded to another team where, maybe your path to the major leagues just got a little bit easier. There's a spot for you in another organization. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, where you're at, are you just still worried about making it to the MLB, or is there excitement in the minor leagues of like, I could potentially win a World Series in this organization?
Regardless, like, the opportunity, like, if I play my game, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I play my game to win baseball games, win every day. If it's with the Blue Jays or with any other team, at the end of the day, the goal is to win games, right? And if you're winning games, you're getting closer to the goal of the World Series, making it to the World Series or even winning the World Series one day. I think it's just staying in the moment, and if you're just thinking about the future a lot, it's gonna hinder your presence. So like me personally, just stay in the moment. If I'm a player that I love winning and staying in the moment and winning each game as goes by, like at the end of the day, the opportunity would arise if the Blue Jays say, hey, like this is a winning guy, he wants to win, and maybe we bring him up, or like another team sees that, hey, he's a winning guy, like we need to go get him. We need to build up vibes. At the end of the day, you just got to play your game. Like it's gonna come. You can't force it. You can't control it. But the only thing you can control is being in the moment and win it.
That's a great attitude, and that's probably why you're a pro ball player and I'm a podcaster. Anyways, I love it, man.
So,
That's
Chavez,
great.
we talked about this last time you were on the show. I know that you're from the Bahamas. And what's funny, too, is that soccer, basketball, they all kind of are further up the rankings in the Bahamas sports world. What was it that drew you to baseball?
Bro, like I was big on track. I was really big. My dad was really big on track, like really big on. He loved track. Until this day, he loved track. I used to run track when I was like road races, like when I was like 3. Starting when I was like 3 or 4. Like, yeah, even if I was not in the event, he just put me on the road to run for like 20 seconds and then, all right, you done.
You've been working on stealing bases since you were 3.
Yeah. So I've been like, the Bahamas are big on track and field. So I've been running road races a lot. And then it's just me and my mommy were just watching TV, and then she flipped it on the Chicago White Sox and Chicago Cubs game I think it was at the Cubs. And bro,
I love you remember the game.
Yeah, I'm like 5-ish. No, I'm not 5-ish. I'm like what? I'm like 10, 11-ish, 10, 11 or 12,
Right,
like close to there. And I'm like, yo, Alfonso Soriano hits 3 home runs in the game, and like, the crowd's going crazy, obviously. His 3rd home run. And I'm like, that looks cool. That looks cool. But like at the same time, bro, like when I was like 5, I was an athlete. I played everything, right? And the bomb is like, you're an athlete, you're playing everything. Doesn't matter if you don't play that sport. And my coaches, Coach Higgs and Coach Opie, man, they know I was an athlete. They grab me every day and they put me in the game. And I wouldn't know what the positions was. I would just play in the middle of the field because I see that's where the ball getting hit the whole time. And I'll grab the ball.
In the action.
Yes, I want right. And then like I've been playing. I played baseball when I was 5, but I didn't take it serious and realized like that looks fun. I really want to take this serious until like I was like 11 or 12. I saw it on TV and like I watched Alfonso Soriano hit 3 home runs, and I was like, yep, I want to do this one day. And then I ended up going off to school when I was like 15, turning 16 into America in Florida.
Yeah, you went from the Bahamas to Florida at 15, right?
Yeah.
Buddy, that's so young. And your whole idea for the move, you were moving for education, right? Like you were, it wasn't necessarily you were chasing sports.
I just wanted to I wanted an education and also like use my education to get off the school, like get off the college. And that was the whole mindset, the whole goal, like, you know, go to college, use my opportunity, my skills, to pay off the schooling.
Right. So professional baseball wasn't even really the main thought. You were just trying to get educated.
I guess I was like, I ain't gonna lie to you, realistically, when I was like 15, like I was saying to myself, I don't know if I could hit 90. That was like that was it. Like that was I was thinking, like, man, I don't know if I can ever adjust to 90. So maybe, you know, let's go to college. Let's try to go to college, you know, because like people don't understand like the ability what I have right now, I did not have it. I just didn't wake up with it and boom, like I could do it like that.
Yeah.
I worked like it was work, grind, like even if it was me going to the gym and doing the same thing every day, it was just the mindset of you got to work for it, grind it out. And I was long tossing with a softball. Like I just wanted to get better. I just wanted to get stronger. And yeah.
Well, you were focused and determined, and you did start to show off your baseball skills. And I know a couple of listeners have asked us to ask you this question, so we're gonna kind of jump into this one here.
Yeah.
But take me through your draft year in 2016, because being drafted by the Jays must have been like just so exciting, but I can imagine that the day of must have been kind of maddening, right? Like you were drafted in the 39th round, way lower than you probably should have been because you just hadn't been seen as much as some of the other guys had by the scouts. Tell me about what that draft process was like and what kind of emotional roller coaster were you on that day of the will I get drafted, won't I? Because you were just at that 40th round, like you were just under the wire of getting in.
I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday. You know what? Like the tips my hat off with the Blue Jays. They've been there from day one. First question there. So like they believed in me. I mean, Mike Tiddick is scouted with the Toronto Blue Jays. They were my first question there. They've been there from day one. So it wasn't like, oh, the Blue Jays came along the way when I was no, they've been there from like the ending of my junior year, going into my senior year. Mike Tiddick drove down to the small city called Ludwig and came to see me. He didn't even came to see me. He said he know I was good, and he said, I'm giving you a questionnaire right now because he saw me play in the game. He didn't showcase me like that time when he came to see me. He just came and he gave me a questionnaire. He came to sit down and talk to me to see what type of player I am, like what type of human being I am off the field.
Right.
And that was kind of interesting because, you know, the Blue Jays are big. We're really big on being a good teammate. You know, how are you being a good teammate to others off the field? And he brought that in. He brought that to me when he came. Like, you know, you want to see how I am off the field and get to know me better, like get to know my family, like my character and stuff like that. But like the Blue Jays was my first question there when I signing, and I went to like three showcases with the Blue Jays, pre-drafts with the Blue Jays. But yeah, like I mean, like I said, man, like at the end of the day, like yes, I got drafted in 39th round, right? But at the same time, like I came a long way.
Yes.
I came a long way knowing like I'm not even sure if I even get drafted. But at the same time, like I didn't have the resources. I understand, man. I didn't have the resources to go to all these perfect games, all these showcases. I understand that. But
to
you know
pay
what you
for
can
your tournaments and stuff to be seen, yeah.
But you know what you can, like you can't hide heart. You can't hide a true winner. And that's why I feel like this societies these days, man, like you see all these young guys, them like you see all these players, them not getting signed for much, but they're the true ballers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Dominicans, like most of these guys, like Robinson can only sign for like what, $10,000? I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's a big leaguer, right? And like and if you was to go back and you'd be like, oh, I'm signing from like 4, 5, 6 mil, right? Like you can't not hide a true baller. You can't find true ballers. You can't find guys who can play with their heart, big hearts, right? And it's so political. We're going with statistics and stuff like that, but you can't measure heart. And that's what I want to show, man. Like at the end of the day, like when I went to showcases, when I showcased myself to each other team during the pre-drafts, I came up with energy, run great times, hit, switch it, and I obviously the arm was there, and I brought the energy. So like till this day, I still do the same thing, and it's like you can't really say like, oh, like who is this guy? Like you know who this guy was. It was just you couldn't take the chance on it because you didn't know. Yeah,
It must have been so validating after putting in the work you put in to see the Blue Jays show the kind of belief in you that they did. Yeah.
They did. And I appreciate them. They gave me the opportunity, like, to live my dream today. So I appreciate them every day.
And let's go back to 2016 here when your first taste of pro ball. They started by sending you to the Gulf Coast League, and then in the fall assigned you to Great Britain. So that first 6 months after being drafted, buddy, you were all over the place.
So yeah, I think like, when God has a plan for you, you just be ready for it, right? I got drafted in the 39th round, right? And I'm like, I get drafted late. What if I didn't sign? Maybe I wouldn't experience that, the Great Britain trip.
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't experience that. So like, that's why I said like, when like God has a plan for you, just be ready, just embrace it,
Chavez, have you always had that kind of mentality of being in the moment? Because it's one very impressive attribute that you've kind of had throughout your pro career. Or was this something that you had to work on and staying in the moment?
I had to work on it. I had to work on it because I experienced a lot of failure of just thinking above. So yeah, it's something I had to work on because like you get caught up in the moment of thinking too much of ahead, and like
of course.
it's like you walking up the stairs, right? And if you keep on looking up and not looking at each step, you're gonna fall and trip. And that's the mindset of me, like when I feel like I was looking too much of ahead and not worrying about being in the moment, right?
When did that click for you? Because like I know when I was growing up, like as a teenager, and I would get pretty like worked up and frustrated by things not going my way, and my dad's advice was always just don't let it get to you. And I was like, that's great, but how do I not let it get to me? Like that's not helping at all, Dad. And then like now, like I get it. I know how to just like not let it get to me. So like at what point for you do you not have to work at it anymore, where you're just like, okay, I get it. Or
are you still working on it every day? Who knows?
I am still working on it every day, but it kind of clicked in 2019 after that season. I had a lot of stuff going on after the season, and then the hurricane, right? The hurricane hit in the Bahamas, right? And I went back home to the Bahamas, and I just see how stuff was, and it's just like made me realize, like, man, like I gotta get it. I have to take advantage of this opportunity what I have, man, because like when I was home, like my family's struggling because of the hurricane, like the house was messed up and all these stuff, and I'm like, man, like they struggling, but they support what I'm doing here in America, right? Yeah. They got my back. They watching my games always, and it's like I gotta be grateful. Because sometimes when you go for and you're like, I'm like, did I make the right choice? Like, did I make the right choice playing pro ball or whatever? But like, you realize, like, bro, it could be worse. You gotta be grateful. It could be worse. Like, at the end of the day, my brothers would text me. I go over 4. If I go over 4 with three punch outs or whatever, they'll text me, "Good game, bro." They supportive, and that it's like, damn, like, they love me regardless. Like, it feels like, when you have a bad game, like, nah, nobody cares about you, nobody loves you or whatever. But it's vice versa. It's different. Like, they care about me. Like, at the end, me being a successful baseball player or not, they still love me. And that type of vibe, and that's when I realized, like, yo, like, at the end of the day, just play, just do you, enjoy the moment, and stay focused. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're a successful baseball player or not. I mean, MLB player, your family still love you.
It's really interesting what a big mental hurdle that is for ball players, and just in life in general sometimes, to be in a situation and be grateful for where you're at, and also to be in the moment, enjoy what's going on. I know that we talked to James Dykstra, fellow teammate there with you with the Fisher Cats, and he's 30, so he's a little older than you guys. And he was talking about exactly that, of the being in the moment that you were talking about, because he told a story about how in 2018, when he was with the Texas Rangers, that he was in Double-A and then got moved up to Triple-A. And one of the biggest things that he was doing that was detrimental to his mental health in general is that he was really watching the injury list and stuff like that for the big league team, right? And he was kind of like doing the math of, okay, if this guy gets injured and this happens, then I get called up here. And one of the things he said about 2018 was, like, after he got let go from professional baseball, I mean, he went to the independent leagues after that, and he was just like, to have just enjoyed where he was would have done so much more for him than to have actually been watching what other guys are doing and who's getting hurt and stuff like that. And it's just wild to me, the more I talk to guys like yourself, of like, what a big deal that being present and being in the moment is.
It is just because 2019, I was so much into, like, am I going to get to Double-A? Like,
Right.
worrying about that instead of worrying about me being in the moment. And it kind of obviously affect how you play. And then other stuff personally off the field with family's issues what I had. And like, it just gotta be in the moment. That's the main thing. Like, if it's any advice for any minor leaguers, just be in the moment, stay in the moment, worry about what you're doing right now, because at the end of the day, you still cannot control what moving up or moving down. It doesn't matter. But what you can control is being in the moment, winning games, winning every pitch, having great at bats, and taking care of your business.
So let's talk Bahamas for just a second here. I do want to hear your experience at that 2020 Home Run Derby, when you got to go home to the Bahamas and participate and just be involved with all of these, I mean, stars. What was that like for you?
That was my third time hitting a home run derby.
Yeah.
But every year, bro, it's getting better. It's going to even be better this year, December 18th. It's going to be a blast. Like,
It's kind of putting the
just
Bahamas
can't
on
wait.
the map a little bit, right?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't wait. But Todd Isaac Jr. and Lucius Fox Jr., like, those guys, they came up with a master plan in 2018. I think, 2018 they came up with that. And man, like I said, bro, like, it's been amazing. Like, it just brings back the vibes of, because we never play in front of our families in our country, right?
Yeah.
And the last time I played in front of my country and stuff like that was like nationals, like when I was younger, like 13 or 14, and that brings back that happiness, like playing in front of your hitting in front of your country and stuff like that. Because we play over here, right? And we get fans over here, and we sign autographs with fans and stuff like that. But it hits different when you're back home and you're signing autographs for little kids in the Bahamas. It hits different when your own people loves you and sign autographs. So like I think that's the most important thing with me when I go back home, like going back home and playing and hitting in front of your own people. But I wish, man, we could like start doing like winter ball in the Bahamas. That would be dope.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of cool even just to think about the fact that maybe that home run derby where you're hitting bombs in front of your countrymen and your family and stuff like that, maybe you're the Chicago White Sox Cubs game that you turned on, right? Like maybe you're the reason that one of these kids is like, you know what? I want to be a ball player. Yeah. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, just trying to set an example. Like if anybody wants to be like me, but I want them to be respectful, right? And I want them to play hard, always have a smile on their face. At the end of the day, you still gotta enjoy and love the game. If you don't enjoy it, you don't love it, you might as well stop. So I think that's the most important thing as well too. Like, having fun. When the kids them see you having fun, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna have fun as well. They're gonna have a smile. They're gonna be respectful as well. So if I'm gonna be an example, I'm gonna be a good example.
It's a great mindset, my man. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to throw to Adam. We do a little segment here called Foul Territory. So he's going to hit you with some questions that maybe aren't quite as baseball specific. So here we go.
So we just did fair ball just now. We did fair.
Yeah, that's right. Fair ball.
Most of these are going to still be pretty baseball related. First one actually is just mentioning that home run derby in the Bahamas. Is that going to be televised anywhere, or how can we watch that?
It should be. I think MLB Network should be in on it. Okay, awesome. You should be able to watch it on MLB Network. They're starting to get enter it as well. So right. I think MLB Network should be connected.
Right. Well, if that's not the case, you put us in touch with these guys that are organizing the tournament, and we'll figure out a way to live stream it at least on our channel, because I know we got lots of Blue Jays fans who.
Yes, I could forward you guys after this. I could forward you guys to my friend Todd Isaac who runs it.
That'd be great, man. Thank
you very much. All right, so let's start with base running. Base running is kind of one of these underrated and taken for granted skills. I think most casual fans for sure tend to think of base running as stealing bases, and that's about it. But there is obviously more to it than just that. But let's start with the stealing bases side of things. What is, for you specifically, I know it's going to be different for everybody, but what is the ideal size for a leadoff for you?
I don't know the ideal size, but so like, each field has like a different cut, like at first. So I try to measure all my leads above the cut or just in line with the cut. If I know that if I'm in line with the cut, I know that, okay, this is a good enough lead. Because I know if I'm not as much with the cut, I know myself, like, it's not a good enough lead, because you don't want to look and see how big your lead is and then you get picking off, right?
Right.
So I look at every field. Some fields are different. Some fields have smaller, closer cuts. Some fields have way bigger cuts, right? Mm-hmm. So I look at that, right? And I say to myself, if this looks like a good enough lead. So when I go on the field, when I take my lead, I take my normal lead, right, that I'm comfortable with. And if it's not as close to where I thought it would be, then I know I need to get a bigger lead, because I know this is not a big enough lead, because I already seen the measurements of the field and whatever. You take your normal 2-3 steps or whatever, but I know I need a big enough lead.
So when you're trying to get your lead, are you trying to draw the pitcher's attention? Are you hoping for like a pickoff attempt? Are you hoping that you can distract him a little bit from the batter? Like, the more he's worried about you, the less he's worried about pitching? Or you're just worried about yourself and your own, like, I don't know. Whenever I was, again, I'm the podcaster, not the pro ball player, but I do like picking your brain on this. Growing up, I loved getting a nice big lead off on first and having a pitcher trying to get me, right? There was no better feeling than having a guy try to pick you off twice and then stealing on him anyways. Do you
So
enjoy that side of the game, or are you just there trying to stay safe?
I try, obviously, trying to stay safe.
Right.
But
Yeah.
if you got a lefty, on the mound, I want to see his best move.
Right.
So I take a big lead, he's got to throw over. I want to see his best. I want to see
So you
his
do
best
try
move,
and
see what I
draw
got.
a pickoff move from him.
Yeah, but that's more of a lefty,
Okay.
right? A righty, sometimes then can give you the. Sometimes pitchers in general think give you their best move right away, but on a lefty, I want to get big enough lead, and I'm leaning in. That I'm ready to go back. I want to see
leaning back to first.
I want to see his best move, right? And then as a righty, I take my normal big lead, my normal lead or whatever, and I'm going to like. Sometimes I would go on the first pitch if he's slow enough for me to go, and I know I get a good jump, I know I'm safe. But like if he sidestep, then I know okay. When I break it down into a shuffle, stuff like that. So like you always want to be ready to go on the first pitch, being aggressive on the first pitch or whatever. If you get a good jump, regardless, you're safe, right?
Yeah.
Fastball or curveball, it doesn't matter, all right? If you get a good jump, you're good. But as a lefty, when them lefties are pitching, I know you want to kind of get a big lead, so you're going back in, but you want to see them move because they're looking at you.
Right.
You want to see them move and see what they got.
So you mentioned getting a good jump, right? Getting that. If you get a good jump, doesn't matter what he's throwing, you're feeling pretty good. What are you watching for in terms of like when's it time to go, right? Again, when I was a kid, I don't know if this is still the same thing or not, but in like Little League baseball, the balk rules for pitchers, let's just simplify it for a right-handed pitcher because I know things are a little bit different for a lefty. But for a right-handed pitcher, in order for them to throw to first, they had to step off the mound to turn around and throw, right? So if they took their left foot off, they were at that point committed to going home. And if they took their right foot off, that's what they needed to do to throw you out at first. So
A lefty?
no, a righty. So he's got his back
okay.
to you, right? He has to step off the mound to throw you out. But if he lifts his left foot, that's a commitment to going home. So, as a 16-year-old, I was always taught to watch their heels, right? Don't worry about what they're doing with the upper body. Don't worry about him peeking over his shoulder at you. Just watch his heels. If his left heel comes up, now you can go. And if his right foot comes up, go back to first. Is that the same at all at the pro level, or is there other more complicated?
There's so much weird pitchers, man. So much like funky pitchers.
Yeah.
Some people like they're like if their shoulders tilt. Some pitchers like imagine their pitchers right here, and then they go, and then they pitch right.
Yeah.
Right.
So if their shoulders tilt, like you could look at their shoulders, look at their heel, and look at their elbow. Like it's so much stuff you could trigger right before their foot actually lifting up the throw.
So it's not necessarily universal, eh? It's kind of pitcher to pitcher a little bit.
Yeah, you even look at their knees because look at the sidearm guys. They got to bend before they lift their foot up. So like they got to bend down on this. It's a lot of stuff you look at these days because you got a lot of funky pitchers, sidearmers, guys who throw from over the top, guys who throws like 3/4 or whatever. So like it depends on what type of pitch is, like what's his tendency and is.
Do you get a scouting report for each pitcher then? Like is that part of your pre-game plan? Is like this
stuff? Yeah.
This is his pickoff move, be on the lookout for this, or is that just on you to figure out as you go?
Yeah, not much. Well, so you get the scouting report on what his pitches is.
Mm-hmm.
His fastball, how his fastball moves. Is it a sinking fastball? Is it a cutting fastball? Or is it a straight fastball? Or then you got sliders, curveball, changeup, splitter, whatever, right? You look at that's the stuff the scouting report shows, right?
Right.
And if you want to go back in videos and see, okay, how does he hold runners?
Mm-hmm.
You could check. But me personally, like if it's a sidearm guy, if it's a sidearm guy on the mound, I know I have a great chance of stealing because everything's gonna run away. His pitch is gonna be sinking down. It's gonna cut down. It's gonna be a lot of stuff closer in the dirt. It's gonna be rarely he throws stuff high and up because he's a sinker guy. Unless if he throw it high enough, it can cut because he throwing it too much up, and it's gonna naturally cut. So like you look at all those stuff, like those sinker baller guys, they tend to run closer away from where the catcher would want to receive the throw this throwing high. It'd probably be in the dirt and stuff like that. And then you got guys that like to throw off speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got guys them who throw more off speeds, who throws a lot of change ups and curveballs and stuff like that. They'd be good guys to run, but they could be quicker to the plate. Who knows?
Yeah,
they could be quicker to the plate. So you got to pick your chances on those guys. I feel like those guys who throw a lot of off speeds, you want to go more later in the count. Later in the count, because you know for a fact that like later in the count they want to throw their off speed and get them to chase.
Right.
And because early in the count, like you're gonna get fastball, right? You're gonna get fastball because the fast guy's on base. We all know you throw off speed, so you're gonna try to throw fastball to get him by you, and also be ready to give the catcher a chance to throw him out to second.
Right. Speaking of catchers, then, how much does the catcher's arm play into whether or not you're gonna go?
It plays.
Yeah.
It plays a lot. That's why you need a good jump.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you need a good jump, and you gotta make sure like it's not too quick of a time from a pitcher.
No, I love that. Okay, a couple more base stealing questions here, and then we'll move on to. I know we got some listener questions to get to. So beyond just stealing bases, then, and thank you for all that insight on your leadoffs and everything. There are ways to help the batter without stealing. Recently, we've seen a new trend. It seems like it's happening all the time in extra innings, these intentional balks, where in extra innings, at least, there's the runner on second base, and pitchers are so worried about the runner on second, stealing signs and tipping off the hitter to what's coming, that they would rather, balk and move the guy over to third than pitch with a base runner on second. So how much is that actually a thing? When you're on second base, are you trying to catch a sign, or are you, trying to do something to tip off the hitter that, like, hey, the catcher's setting up inside or he's setting up outside? Like, is that something that you actually worry about, or?
I don't really tip off give the hitters a sign. Like, I don't give them signs. But I mean, if you're at second base, you can see what the pitcher's grabbing.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the grip. It's obvious. Like, it's obvious as well. You can see his grip. Some pitchers hide it really good. Some pitchers just, you can see the grip that they're gonna throw. If I see a changeup grip, if I see a knuckle curve grip, he's not gonna throw. You think he's not gonna throw? He's not gonna pick me off with a knuckleball grip.
All right, so that affects your lead, right?
Yeah, he's not gonna pick me off with a knuckle curve grip or a changeup grip, right? But if I see it as more of as a fast, obviously I'm not trying to steal third, unless he's really slow and a one-look guy.
Mm-hmm.
If he has a fastball grip, but if he has like a off-speed grip, and I can see it, I know for a fact that the only thing he might do is keep on looking, and he might step off. That's it. Right? Because how you gonna throw a change up to second base and pick me off? You're gonna throw a slider,
knuckleball.
Yeah, that's stuff I think about.
Okay.
Mind you, now this is just what I think. I don't know what other people think, but this is what I think. So like, I don't tip off the pitch, the the hitter.
Right.
I find a good pitch what I'm gonna go on, and yeah, get a good jump.
Okay. No, that's good.
I think more stealing third is like, you need more momentum going forward on this one, because if you don't have much momentum going to third, then that's an easy throw from the catcher. So
Yeah.
Totally. All right. Well, let's keep things with you're on second base. All right. So you're on second. There's no other base runners, and it's a ground ball to the shortstop. More often than not, we just see the base runner kind of goes back to second. Why don't we see anybody kind of make a fake break towards third to kind of make the shortstop think about him? Right, like on a ground ball to short, I know it's a short throw to second, right, and there's the risk of getting thrown out. But why don't we see like any sort of head games being played? Because it just feels like if you took like a big hard shoulder fake, just to maybe have them think about you, or double clutch, it could be we see so many bang bang plays at first. I just feel like, why don't we see that? Is that just not possible?
It's almost like it's close to not possible, because like, if you're on second, right, you're not thinking, okay, like you're thinking you're trying to move forward always, right? The momentum is going forward, right? And obviously when the ball's hit, you want to be anticipating to going forward, right?
Right.
And we'll teach, when a line drive is hit, immediately go back. When the line drive is hit, immediately go back.
Right.
And then obviously like this is where all baseball IQ comes from, because not all necessary balls hit the shortstop, you can't get the third. It could be a slow chopper. It could be a slow hit, like a soft hit to third shortstop. You could get there. So you still want to anticipate that as well.
Right.
But if you're on shortstop and there's a nice hit, nice hard hit ball to shortstop, and after your secondary and you still want to fake, you have a lot of chance to get thrown out at second, because that little move right there, as soon as you do that and fake, the ball's ready in like the shortstop hand by that time. And the first thing is the second baseman's already coming into second base, is already going to the bag. So like, if you try to fake, you're already almost out. Because that's why as soon as the ball hit, is it either you either can make it, or if you're not gonna make it, get back.
You just get caught in no man's land out there.
Because shortstop is right there. Shortstop is right there. And there's a lot of guys who get catch in the middle, and that's why some guys like try to fake, and then boom, they're out at second and they're in the pickle. So I understand where you're coming from. It's just
too fast at that point, eh?
Yeah, if you're really a good base runner, and if you're really aggressive, and if you're really thinking, like even on slow ball hits, I still could get third. Right. So you want to always be, the aggression of the momentum going forward, anticipate going forward, right? Not thinking that even if a ball slowly hit, like being in between, you always want to be either you can go or not. Right. Like, because if you're in between, then that's how you're going to get out.
That's trouble.
Right.
No, I think that's fair. All right. Well, thank you for all your insight on the finer points of base running there.
The base path, yes.
Now let's get a little bit deeper into foul territory here. Let's talk about bunting.
Oh.
How hard is it to bunt?
It's not hard, it's just it's just the focus of me personally. Like, bunting is like, when I bunt, it's like I'm already thinking about running first.
Okay.
Right.
So that's the hard part, bunting, and then you want to make sure you bunt the right pitch too as well. Yeah, bunny, and then like you're thinking so much about running before you bunt, and that's especially it's a tough one as well. As a switch hitter too, like I always want to bunt to the offside of the pitcher. So if it's a righty, if I'm hitting left-handed, right, he's going to be when he finishes though, he's going to be more to the first base side. So I want to put it over to the third base area. So if he wants to go get it, he has to run across his body. Vice versa on a lefty. If I'm hitting right-handed, I want to be a push bunt closer in the middle of the second, because after he throws the ball, he's going to be across his body to third. So like he needs to get back over on the other side. It's going to be the in between of the pitcher and the first base. So
Yeah.
also too, I wouldn't mind like on lefties button down third base line, because lefty got to make a whole turn to make a throw as well. So
how much time do you spend working on your bunting skill? Is that something you just either you naturally are good at or you're not? Or is there like team practice where like, hey, we're going to all work on bunting today? Or is it, a chunk of time every day?
I work on
these
bunting.
Guys are working on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I work on bunting. Like obviously the guys who got speed. And when I get to the big leagues, I have to learn how to bunt. I have to get the bunt down. Like you have to move guys over, because that's just the growth of the game. Like that's just my part of my game, speed, right? Yeah. We work on bunting. We work on bunting a lot. Also too, like during batting practice, me personally, I have two. My first 2 rounds are bunt, right? My first, I want to put it down the third base side. I'm gonna put it down first base side, and then from the right side, when I hit my second round from the right side, I want to put it down third base side, and I want to push. So we do work. I do work on bunt. Basically, I bunt every day.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear, because I don't know how many times I watch a Blue Jays game and I'm watching guys that can't bunt to save their life. So
it's just more of the mindset of trying to run before you bunt, because when you bunt, you want to run, you want to get down first base line, you want to run over, even though it's a sacrifice hit,
right? The
mindset still you want to get a base hit, if you beat it out. So
of course, yeah. No, it's like throwing the ball before it's in your glove, right? You got to wait till you field the grounder and then make the throw. So all right, okay, so here's a couple questions from we had them submitted on our YouTube here for you. What is the best stadium food that you've ever eaten?
Oof. So I was at where was it? I ain't gonna lie to you. Two spots.
Okay.
So when I was in high school, I worked the Rays game, concession stands. They had barbecue chicken nachos at it's called the Porch, right behind like center field, like right center, it's right behind there, right?
Okay.
I used to work the Rays the concession stands when I was younger, and after the game I could take home some nachos. And the barbecue chicken nachos, they were fire. Hold on, somebody's trying to call me. Sorry, but somebody was trying to call me.
Okay.
So yeah, the barbecue chicken nachos was really good. Also, when I was in Australia, oh my goodness, they have this thing called like they have hot dog. It's hot dog, right? But it's not in a hot dog bun. It's in the regular bread, the regular bread.
Okay.
Right?
Like one slice of bread wrapped around it.
One slice of bread, yeah. Okay. But they have like this barbecue, onions, and like steamed, like it's this split sauce. It's so good.
We can tell you're getting very excited here, Chavez.
Yeah, it's so
book a flight
good.
To Australia here.
Yeah, bro. Like it's they just call it dogs. They call it dogs.
All right.
It's so good, bro. Like it's so simple. It's so simple, but it's so good.
Okay, awesome. Well, here's the next one then. Moving on from food, we have a viewer who said they saw a video of you when you were 17 years old throwing 98 on the radar as an outfielder. Do you remember that video clip?
Yeah.
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 So they want to know, have you ever had any thoughts about pitching, or have you ever pitched when you were younger?
Obviously, I pitched when I was younger. When I was in Bahamas, pitch.
Yeah.
In exhibition games, But like I said, like people didn't realize, like I never used to throw. Like before I went to America, I should throw like from the outfield, I probably top out like probably 80.
Okay.
79, 80.
Yeah.
And I throw off the mound when I came to America, when I top out when I first came to America. Like I did a showcase. I probably threw like 82 from the outfield. And I threw like 73 to 75 off the mound.
Okay.
When I was 15.
Right.
So like I like me throwing 90, I never thought I would throw 90. Like I worked for it. I did it. I did it the hard way. I did it the healthy long way, long tossing, Jaeger bench, stretching your arm out, long tossing. I long toss every day because when you're young, like 14, 15, 16, you're basically a rubber band. So if you could teach your body at that young age to long toss and do the Jaeger bench and stretch your arm out the right way, when you get older, it's like you're not trying to get your arm strong. Your arm already used to. It's properly trained the right way to get stronger.
Okay. Moving on from there, then you know what? Let's follow this up. Baseball has an all-star game with a home run derby. Do you watch hockey at all?
No.
No. Okay. No, that's fine. So, at the All-Star weekend for the NHL, they have a skills competition, right? They do like a hardest slap shot and a fastest and whatever, right? Do you think that the MLB should adopt that kind of a strategy for their All-Star weekend and start to implement maybe a skills competition in addition to the home run derby, like just to have like a outfield throw, right? Who's got the hardest cannon from the outfield, stuff like that.
Yeah, because I actually saw a YouTube video of Jackie Bradley Jr. from home plate throwing the ball into the center field stands, which is just wild.
Yeah, I think
it would be cool.
Yeah, I think, you know what, man? I think you could do that.
Because like we're seeing it in the NFL recently has started doing it too. The quarterbacks are doing some of these like, hitting moving targets and they're throwing into garbage cans on the back of a golf cart.
I think you do it. I think you could do it like a distance. Like see how far you could throw it.
Yeah.
Or see how hard you could throw it. Targets. I think you could do that. Make it more interesting. Like, but you know what? Like,
of course, you got to worry about injuries, but yeah.
Yeah, but like at the same time, like if you take care of your arm, you don't have to worry about injuries.
Yeah.
There you go.
You don't have to worry about it. Like, I mean, that's just like look at Jackie. Jackie could wake up out of bed and he could just throw it over the he could throw it over center field wall, right? Because he take care of his arm.
Because it would be pretty cool to see who could throw the furthest. Like, just a distance thing? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. So.
Cool. All right. Well, that would be fun to speculate on, but I'm sure baseball would figure out a way to mess that up anyways. All right. 2 more questions here. So far in your career, what has been your favorite stadium to play in and why?
I love, for right now, the Hartford Yard Goats.
Really?
Amazing stadium. A beautiful, beautiful stadium. Hartford Yard Goats. And then also after that, after Hartford Yard Goats, I love playing in 2018, I love playing at Dayton.
Oh, nice.
The Reds, the Dayton Dragons.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love playing there too as well.
Awesome.
Us on the road, like road teams. Obviously, I love playing home.
Yeah.
Nothing better than playing home. But like, other than playing like outside of the road, like outside of home, like Hartford Yard Goats and like the Dayton Dragons in 2018.
Okay, cool. And the last one here, what is the weirdest minor league promotional event that you've ever come across? This is a tough question. I'm sure you've got a couple ideas in your head right now.
Weirdest. Let me see. I don't think none is weird. I just think that's funny.
Okay.
We have you know what? I can't say the weirdest. I'll say what was the one that I love the most?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay. So Hartford Yard Goats, they have like this baby goat race. But the baby goats are the little kids.
Yeah.
Little kids running.
Okay.
So they're like 3, 2, 3, 4 years old, right? And they have like they have the baby goats. They have like the goats costumes on, and they're running, right? Some of them just stops and just stares, and like it's so funny. We're like trying to see who's gonna win it, like who's gonna win it all. Like it's so funny. It's so entertaining. Awesome. Yeah, like because some is be so like they be like together and they be like one of like it'd be a big lead and then all you see is like so tight at the finish. It's like and then like it's fun. I love watching it because like they don't know how funny it is because they're just running. So
I show up the Hartford Yard Goats. That's great.
Yeah, the Hartford Yard Goats have that little baby goat race. I love it.
Awesome.
Right.
All right.
Awesome.
Scott, did you have a couple more questions or anything?
I think we'll wrap it up there.
All
Honestly, Chavez, thank you so much, my man, for taking the time. And I know that we didn't get your last episode out, and we're so glad that you were able to sit back down with us. I know our listeners are excited to hear what you got to say.
No, man. No problems. No problem, man. Thank you. Thank you, guys. You ready?
We're ready.
I remember Pilo doing this. I remember John Palacios doing it. And I could have heard in the room. He kept on going because he kept on messing up. And it was so funny. Let me know when you're ready.
We're ready.
All right. Hey guys, it's Chavez Young with the Toronto Blue Jays, and you guys are listening to the Walk Off Podcast with Scott, Belford, and Adam.